He blinked open his eyes and smiled up at me. Chapter 8. Back to school.
"Here you go, Piper,"
Dad said. He scooped some scrambled eggs onto a plate. Thanks. I put my backpack on the floor by my feet, extra gently.
"Whoa, you've got a lot of stuff in there,"
Dad said. I made a project for school, I told him. It wasn't really a school project. It was Cosmo. I'd put him into my backpack, along with a small blankie, so he'd feel all cozy. I'd also cut a few small holes in my backpack. I hoped Dad wouldn't notice them. I didn't have any choice. I couldn't leave Cosmo home alone, so I needed something to carry him in. Something with breathing holes.
"Orange juice?"
Dad asked. Yes, please. He turned around. I bent down, unzipped my backpack a little bit, and rubbed the top of Cosmo's little head.
"Here you go,"
Dad said, placing a glass of juice in front of me. I felt Cosmo's body under my hand, turning from something alive back to regular slime. I was starting to understand the magic. Sort of. As long as I was the only one close enough to Cosmo to see him, he turned alive. But when Mom or Dad showed up, he turned back into a plain old slime blob.
"We're running late,"
Dad said.
"You've only got 4 minutes to eat before we have to go."
When I finished, Dad handed me my lunchbox. He turned to rinse the dishes in the sink, and I unzipped my backpack again. Hey, I whispered to Cosmo. Sorry, I know it's getting tight in there. I stuffed my lunchbox behind the blankie. Dad turned off the sink. As I zipped up my backpack, I saw that Cosmo was a blob again.
"Grab your raincoat,"
Dad said.
"It's supposed to rain today."
It wasn't raining yet, and we speed walked to school. Speed walking is easier for Dad because his legs are longer. I had to jog a little to keep up. Then I worried that Cosmo was bumping around too much, so I kept swinging my backpack forward and peeking inside. With Dad right there next to me, Cosmo was as blobbish as ever.
"Is that too heavy?"
Dad asked.
"I can carry it for you."
No thanks, I said. By the time we got to school, Miss Serrato was already at the front of the room, getting ready to teach. I rushed to my seat.
"Put your backpack in your cubby, Piper," she said.
I don't mind keeping it by my seat, I said. I wanted to keep it by my seat, so I could keep peeking in on Cosmo.
"Backpacks belong in cubbies," Miss Serrato said. "As soon as you put your stuff away, we can get started."
Everyone was watching me as I walked to the back of the room. My cubby was the second from the end on the left. I hung my backpack on the peg and unzipped it to get my homework folder, and also to check on Cosmo. No one could see him because I was standing in a way that blocked the view. He looked up at me with his big, dark eyes. I knew he wanted to climb out and play, but if he climbed out, he'd just be a slime blob. And if he was a slime blob, people might poke him or stretch him or hurt him. Sit, Cosmo, I whispered, and I pushed down on his slimy little butt. Good boy, I said softly.
"Piper,"
Miss Serrato called. I zipped up my backpack and returned to my seat. Miss Serrato said we would start the day with math. She turned around to write on the board, and I twisted in my chair to look over at my backpack. It was just hanging there in my cubby. How was Cosmo doing inside? Was he getting enough air?
"Piper, do you have the answer for this one?"
Miss Serrato asked. I whipped back around. What?
"Number 3 on your worksheet," she said. "Do you have the answer?"
417.
Good.
She turned back to the board, and I snuck another look. Once math was over, it was time for geography. While everyone switched books, I went to check on Cosmo and give him a few pets. I checked on him again when geography was over, and we were moving on to our Spanish lesson.
Why do you keep going back there?
Claire asked once I'd returned to my seat. No reason, I said.
There's got to be a reason, she said. You have something in your backpack, don't you?
Girls, Miss Serrato said,
do you have anything to share with the class?
That's what she always said when she caught people whispering during class time. I shook my head. No, I told her. At the same time, Claire said,
Piper has been getting up to check her backpack a lot.
I don't think that's any of your concern, Claire, Miss Serrato said. I nodded, because Miss Serrato was right. It wasn't Claire's concern. Then she added,
Stay in your seat, Piper.
But after Spanish, it was time for lunch, and everyone left their seats to get their lunch boxes. I went to my cubby and picked up my backpack. My plan was to take it to the cafeteria with me. Miss Serrato stopped me.
You can leave that in your cubby, she said.
My lunchbox is in it.
Take your lunchbox out.
I have something important in my backpack, I said.
I knew it,
Claire said.
Is it for show and tell?
Maybe.
Piper,
Miss Serrato said.
I understand wanting to keep important things close. But whatever it is, it's safer to leave it here in the classroom than to take it to the cafeteria and the playground. It won't get lost if you leave it right here, okay?
Okay, I said. I put my backpack back in my cubby. Claire was standing so close. I knew she wanted to peek inside. I blocked her view as I unzipped it to take out my lunchbox and gave Cosmo a couple of goodbye pats. When I zipped my backpack up again, I left it about this much open. Big enough so if Cosmo needed a bit more air, he could stick his teeny mouth out. Bye, I said softly.
Did you just say bye to your backpack?
Claire asked. No, I said. Technically, it wasn't a lie. I didn't say bye to my backpack. I said it to something inside my backpack.
Okay, Class 3B,
Miss Serrato said.
Let's head out.
You're going to pause here and you're going to answer, what do you think Cosmo will do while he's alone in the classroom?